So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the channel. In this video, slightly different than the usual style on the channel, but I'm going to be going through my watch collection. Even though I don't say it's a collection, I'm most definitely not a collector. I think if you've got less than 12 to 15 watches, you're really not a collector. You just like to have some nice watches. So definitely not a watch collector. Obviously, title of the video has to say that, so it, ranks and all that type of stuff. But yeah, as I say, I'm gonna go through it. It's a question I get asked a lot. A lot of you guys are super interested in my watches, why I've bought them, how much I've spent, what's the sum of all of the watches together, stuff like that. I'm gonna be going through that in this video. And I'm also gonna tell you about a bit of the backstory as well behind each of the watches, why I bought them, etc. etc. So with that being said, let's jump straight into the video. So currently I have 5 watches. Actually bought this watch box as well from a brand called Wolf. Very good brand for like watch boxes, watch winders and whatnot. They have like $60,000 watch winders and stuff. Crazy stuff, but super good watch box. But yeah, let's get into it. I'll go through my very first ever watch, which is this TAG 01. It's a skeleton, of course, as you can tell. And yeah, I want to show you a little bit about kind of like the backstory of it and whatnot. So this was my first ever watch. I got this when I very first hit $20,000 in 1 month, which was December 2019. So all of these watches, I've only got 5 currently, but all of these watches have been bought within the last year. So I'm actually coming up to the first year, making more than $20,000 a month. I would say that's when I really started to make money, obviously. 20K a month. I did that, as I say, December last year. And so I think it was December like 20th or whatever. It was just before Christmas. Picked up this piece. It was actually originally on a steel bracelet, but wasn't really a fan of it, to be honest. I'm not a fan of this certain style of steel bracelet that TAG do. So I actually put this white rubber strap on it. And yeah, really like this one. It's actually, this is the 01 version. So it's a TAG 01. And you can tell by the sub-dials, right? So those 3 sub-dials, how it's like a triangle, like kind of on its side. That model has now been discontinued, which is again is another reason why I bought it, because it's not as easy to get them anymore. The demand goes up, which obviously consequently means that the price is going to go up as well. So yeah, the new style of this watch is it's like a flat triangle, and I've actually got another one that I'm going to show you here in a minute as well, which is the 02 version, which is the new line. But yeah, overall love this watch. Way prefer it on the white rubber strap as well. I think it just looks far better. So what I'm sure majority of you guys are more curious about the prices of these watches and whatnot. So this watch was actually listed at, I think, 7,600, so 7,600. And by the way, this is all in Australian, because obviously I live in Perth, Australia. So it's all in Australian dollars, right? So yeah, it was listed at 7,600, but I actually picked it up for 6,000 on the dot. The place that I bought it from, I was able to get them down to 6,000 on the dot. And obviously, given it's a discontinued model, hopefully in another year or 2, it'll drastically increase. A lot of these watches actually have already increased, and I've only had them up the maximum. This is the longest one that I've had. It was 12 months. So super good, which is another reason why I buy watches, right? Because they just go up in value. If you buy the right ones at the right time at the right price, they're gonna go up in value. You're not gonna lose money. So I'm gonna go through like each individual one in the order that I got it. So that one was my first one, and at the time, $6,000 on a watch was a huge amount of money. And then literally the following month, so in January, I picked up this TAG AQUARACER, and again I changed the strap on it as well. Obviously it's a different style because it's a different connector, right? It's a different style of watch. But yeah, TAG AQUARACER, obviously it's a solid gold bezel. You could kind of see the two-tone gold. It was actually really quite nice. But obviously we're going to summer here in Australia. It's starting to get really hot and whatnot, and so this one is much more of like a day watch, kind of like a beach watch as well. Going for a run or going for a swim or whatever. Given the rest now that I've started to get over time, I'm able to use this one as more of a kind of just like a messing about watch, on the weekend or whatever. So I wanted to put it on a rubber strap. Obviously it's much better with sweat and all that type of stuff. So this one was actually, I believe it was, I actually can't remember the original list price of this watch, but I know that I picked it up for $3,995. So basically $4,000. As I say, this was the following month. So this was January 2020 of this year. Had obviously another really good month. It was another, I think that was like 20K again or something like that. Maybe a little bit over, but yeah. Another really good watch. So as I say, this one I paid $4,000 for basically on the dot. And actually this watch now, so if any of you have got watches, I highly recommend, you probably already do have it actually if you've got watches, but highly recommend you get the app Chrono24. Basically, you can track kind of all your watches, how much they're worth on the market right now, and you can put in how much you paid for it, and then now how much it's worth, so you can see how much you've made or how much you've lost or whatever. And so on there, this is actually listed at 5,000. I think the last time I went on the app, it was like $5,065, something like that, and I bought it for 4,000. So it's obviously, again, increased by over $1,000, and I've been wearing it for an entire year. I've really enjoyed wearing it, and I'm gonna, obviously, I don't ever buy watches to sell, but yeah, I mean, I literally made $1,000 on it just for wearing it for 12 months, right? This is why I really love watches. And also, I just want to quickly say one thing. Don't think that I'm a watch expert or anything like that. I don't know a lot about watches. I know certain things and whatnot, but yeah, definitely do not think that I'm any sort of watch expert, because I'm very much not. Don't know too much. It's just kind of like a hobby that I have that I like, you know, just learn about, read about and whatnot. Anyway, this was my next watch. This was my first, I would say, real watch. This was actually, I think I got this in maybe April, something like, oh yeah, April. Sometime around April time, April, May, potentially. But yeah, this is a Rolex Wimbledon. The reason it's called Wimbledon, for those of you don't know, it's the, you know, there's, as you can probably see by the B-roll that I put over this, the hour markers are in Roman numerals, and it's in like a kind of like a greeny color, right? And that green is actually the same green that's on the Wimbledon green, right? There's huge tennis tournament. Yeah, it's the same color, it's the same kind of fade. So yeah, this was my first, as I say, first kind of real watch. I paid 17,500 for it. Obviously, you know, that's kind of like that next bracket up. I kind of jumped from 6,000, 4,000 to like 17,500. But again, I think it was a really good buy. And I know I went into a watch shop here in Perth. I actually bought this one online, which was pretty crazy for my first real watch. Or first big watch. Bought it online, but it was actually, you know, the shipping and everything like that was really good. But if you buy online, just make sure it's from somebody legit, and you know, you can see that they're legit, because it's obviously wiring 17,500, 20,000, 50,000 online, it's a pretty big risk, right? But yeah, as I say, this is a Rolex Wimbledon. It's got the fluted bezel, which is what I like. I don't like, you know, you get some Rolexes with a flat bezel, not a fan of it. And also it's on the Jubilee bracelet as well, which I think is far better than the Oyster bracelet. I don't know, there's just not as much to it for me. I really like kind of like the staple Rolex bracelet, which which is the Jubilee. Really like this watch. And again, I'm up a couple of percent on this watch, I'm pretty sure. I think it's a little bit more than 17,500. And reason being, again, is because demand is high for the watch, at least from what I've been told, because I went into a Rolex dealer here in Perth, and they said that in order to get this watch, I think you can buy it for around, I think they said around 14,000 or maybe 15,000, something like that. Australian, again, all of this is in Australian, but they said you have to wait like 6 to 12 months to get it. So obviously that's why I paid 17.5. It's slightly more, but I was able to get it within, you know, 2 weeks that I wanted it. And that was only because it was shipped, right? So yeah, another really good watch. And then another Rolex Datejust that I bought this one not too long ago, a couple months ago. So this one is a Rolex Datejust again. It's got, it's a solid gold bezel with the two-tone Jubilee bracelet, two-tone, the steel and the gold. And it's actually got diamond hour markers on it as well, as you can see, and the gold hands as well. And again, this is another one that I picked up at the Rolex dealer here in Perth. And this one was, you know, I wanted to get another watch that wasn't similar to any of my current ones, and that was another reason why I changed this bracelet as well, because this one had the two-tone. It wasn't as potent as this two-tone bracelet on this Rolex, but this one did. It had like a bit of a fade through the middle, and so, you know, they do kind of look similar. So I wanted to get something, as I say, that was very different, and that was another reason why I put the black strap on this one, so it kind of differentiated itself even more. And yeah, for this one, again, it was another pretty high purchase. It was I paid 25,500 for it, but already on Chrono24, right? Already on Chrono24, I'm pretty sure it goes for around 27,000. So I've literally made over $1,000 on it already, and I've only had it literally maybe 2 months, maybe somewhere around that mark. But yeah, 25,500 that I paid for this one, and I've already made money on it. And then finally, this, I've got my 5th watch. So this one, there is a bit of a backstory around it. This watch I actually bought the same week that I got this this Rolex DATEJUST I was just talking about. Yeah, I got these in the same week. I spent almost $50,000 in 1 week on 2 watches. So this one is, as I said before, with the previous TAG 01, right? So the 01 line has been discontinued. So as you can see on the sub-dials, right, I'll put a bit of a B-roll over it as well. The sub-dials are laid out slightly different. The triangle, it's in a different position. So this one on the white strap, that model's been discontinued. This is the TAG 02. Again, automatic. Yeah, this is the TAG 02. Now the reason I bought this, right, there was one reason that I bought this watch, was going out, I was just, you know, having a look in the tag shop. Wasn't planning on getting a watch whatsoever, because I literally got the other DATEJUST a couple days ago, a couple days previous. But the reason I bought this watch is because this is a TAG tourbillon. Okay, now if you know, if you don't know watches, basically a tourbillon is one of the most advanced, complicated movements a watch can have, apart from like perpetual calendars and whatnot, and you know, like moon phases and stuff like that. That stuff is like basically on the same level, I would say, as a tourbillon. And so basically because of that, right, like you can't really buy a tourbillon in any other watch for, like, I would say like under $100,000, right? Majority of tourbillon watches, whether it's on a Patek, an AP, whatever it is, you know, a Jacob & Co, anything like that, it's all way past $100,000, probably more into the 200, 300,000 at minimum, right? This is a TAG tourbillon, so it's got the exact same movement. It's not on a Patek, it's not on an AP. I know it's only on a TAG, but this watch I paid $22,000 for. It was actually listed at $25,600, something like that, but was able to get them down to, as I say, $22,000. And so I paid $22,000 for a watch that has a tourbillon in it and it's TAG. I think TAG are pretty slept on. I'm a real big fan of TAG. Not a lot of people talk about them, but I think their movements are amazing. And I think the way that the watches are made, I think it's obviously it's not a Patek, it's not an AP, it's not a Richard Mille or anything like that, but I think it's an amazing movement. Yeah, was able to pick up a tourbillon, so I've got a tourbillon in my watch collection now, yeah, $22,000. So obviously, as I say, that was another watch that was listed at $25,600, something like that. Was able to get them down from that to $22,000, and yeah, I mean, already I was able to make money on it because I got it way below list price anyway, and because it's a tourbillon, I do believe it's gonna at least go up a couple thousand, worst case scenario, to be honest. So yeah, that's my watch collection. Pretty small, I know it's not the craziest. I'm not got any Richard Milles yet, no APs, no Pateks. I've not got 10, 15 watches, but you know, 1 year in December, from when I got my first watch to now. The collection overall is roughly, I'm pretty sure I've paid around 74,000-ish, 74, 75,000. But on Chrono 24, as I mentioned before, it is currently sat at around 77 to 78,000 in value. So I've made money and I enjoy these watches every single day. I never go out of the house without a watch on now. I absolutely love watches, and all the while I'm making a little bit of money on the side as well, which is why I'm such a big advocate of buying watches instead of cars and whatnot, because cars, they just depreciate basically instantly as soon as you drive out of the dealership. So very, very good place to put money and enjoy it at the same time. So yeah, as I say, that was, you know, that's just kind of the reality that, you know, obviously, you know, for the majority of you watching this video, you'll know what I do. I run an agency in the e-commerce niche, and obviously I teach people how to build an agency, a successful one that is, you know, multi 6 figures in the e-commerce niche specifically. And that's just the reality of what an agency can do for you, right? That's just, you know, there's no way I would be able to spend roughly $75,000 in 1 year. It's not even been 12 months yet, right? It's literally been 11 months. $75,000 in 11 months just on watches, right? There's no way I would have been able to do that if I kind of went down the conventional route of what everybody says you should do. Go to school, go to uni, come out, and then, you know, you've got a qualification, and then you can go and get a job and start your career at 26, 25, 24, whatever it is. Kind of went against that, and you know, this is just the reality of what can happen. And so anybody who's starting their agency, anybody, you know, if you're just kind of getting the ball rolling a little bit, you've started to do outreach, but things just aren't going as you originally thought. Things aren't going as people sell you on how they're going to go. You know, a lot of people sell you on the fact that, you know, you can make $10,000 in your first week, or you can, you know, 3 months in, you can be at, you know, 200 grand a month or whatever. It's just not the reality of it. You know, a lot of hard work goes into it. A lot of stuff goes in behind the scenes, and it's tough, you know, because at the end of the day, we're building real businesses. So one thing that I keep trying to push on this channel is that as a social media marketing agency, you know, the word and the phrase social media marketing agency, I feel like it's kind of like synonymous with like drop shipping now, you know, and it's synonymous with these other kind of business models because that's just how people sell it. But honestly, an agency is a real legit business model. And, you know, because, you know, at the end of the day, you're working with multi 7 and 8 figure brands, in some cases, multiple 6-figure brands. They're not playing about, you know, and when they start paying you $5,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $3,000 a month, $9,000 a month, whatever it is, they're expecting a high level service in return. And so if you don't have a high level service, you're not gonna build a successful agency. And so in order to have a high level service for your clients that warrants a $7,000 per month price tag, $10,000 per month price tag, whatever it is, you got to think of it as a real business, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. And so it takes time, is my point with saying all of that. It just takes time, okay? And the worst thing that you can do, absolute worst thing that you can do, is stop. All right, the worst thing you can do is stop, is to give up, because that's a surefire way to fail. Like you know, if you stop right now, I guarantee you'll fail. It's guaranteed. However, if you keep going, your probability of success massively increases. And if you're routinely iterating on your approaches for outreach, for delivering results, for managing your team and all this type of stuff, you know, it's only a matter of time at that point until you build your agency to a point where it's routinely bringing in X amount per month, you know, 30K a month, 50K a month, 20K a month, 60K a month, whatever it is. People do it. I do it all the time, right? Every single month, my agency pulls in a very, very healthy number, usually anywhere from 40 to 50,000, at least at the point of recording this. And it's because I've gone through the processes that you need to go through. I've learned from my failures, okay? And I've iterated based on my learnings, right? So I failed. I've learned from it, and using those learnings, I was able to iterate my approach to whatever it was. As I say, whether it was client management, communication, service delivery, outreach, or whatever it is, I was able to iterate on my approach. So the next time it's far better, it's far more effective. You know, you get a better ROAS for clients, or you're able to manage your team in a different way that enables them to produce at a higher level, which in turn makes, you know, results better or outreach better or whatever it is, right? That's kind of the reality of it. And as I say, this is just kind of, you know, the fruits of that labor, okay? And so overall, I don't want you guys to like watch this video and think it's super unattainable, or I'll never get to that point or whatever, because I thought that as well, right? I thought that as well. And now I know it's not a lot of money, right? It's only 75,000. People spend triple that on one watch, right? I'm not trying to say that I'm like this big shot or whatever, but it's more than what most people have. And so, you know, I don't want you to think that you can't have it, because you most definitely can. You just need to go through the processes. You just need to make sure that you're iterating on everything that you're doing, and that you stick to the process and you trust the process, because it works. I'm living proof that it works, okay? So yeah, bit of a motivational thing at the end there, but I just hope that pulls you out. You know, I get a lot of messages that people are in these ruts and they just feel like it's not for them, it's not going to work for them, you know, they can't do it because they don't have the secret sauce or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you've just got to keep pushing, you've got to keep going, right? And I know I don't want to sound too motivational, but I think it's just very, very important. And you know, I've gone through those dips. You know, I remember in February of this year, I lost, I think it was 25%, maybe even 30% of my monthly income in 2 days, right? My monthly income, I lost 30% of that in 2 days, gone, right? And that hit home very, very hard. I think at that point, it was around 5,000-6,000 a month, but I was only making like 20,000 a month. So, you know, it was a pretty big hit. And I remember for like 2 weeks straight, I was just so down about it. I thought everything was over. I felt that like, oh, this isn't for me. You know, I've had a bit of luck. I've had my run, but now it's over, you know? And I realized it clicked, and I was like, it's not over. I just need, you know, why did I lose those clients? What happened? What was the reasoning? Not, I lost, you know, I removed my ego. You know, I didn't tell myself, oh, it's their loss, they were stupid for leaving, they're gonna fail in their business now or whatever. I didn't look at it like that. It was like, no, what's the root reason? Why did they not stay on board? And I figured it out, and then I was able to go and, you know, for the next time around, I was able to build on those learnings. I was able to iterate on those learnings, and I was basically able to implement those learnings back into the agency, back into the business, which helped me evolve. And at the end of the day, that's how you go from 0 a month to 10,000 a month to 50,000 a month to 6 figures a month to multi 6 figures a month. that journey, that's what happens, is you're just evolving at each stage. And because you're evolving, you're then able to make even more, right? You right now, you're not able to make 200,000 a month because you haven't gone through the evolution that you need to go through. And so all these setbacks, all these things that are happening, it's so that you evolve. And then next time around, because you have now evolved in that specific area, you understand what works and what doesn't, and why this works and why that doesn't. Next time around, your next approach to it, it's far more effective because you've evolved, right? And so all these little things that are happening, it's meant to happen. And yeah, overall, that is, that's how I've been able to go from literally zero, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, to now making, routinely roughly around 50K a month at the point of recording this. And next year, I'll be well and truly at 6 figures a month routinely, as like a bare minimum hygiene standard, 6 figures a month. That's my goal for next year. And to basically just 2x the entire business, right? Because doubling, the power of doubles is very, very scary in a way, and how quick things scale up just by leveraging the idea of the power of doubles. And so right now I'm at 50,000. Next year would love to double that and make double 50,000, so 6 figures a month. Completely hygiene, a complete hygiene standard. And then after that, it's multiple 6 figures and etc, etc. It scales up from there. So guys, overall, I really do hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found value in it somewhat. I know it's a different style, but I hope that little kind of spiel, that little rant at the end, I hope it kind of gets you out of that rut. If you're in a rut, some sort of rut. And yeah, with that being said, I will see you in the next video.